Hey, from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
And I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
Hey, John Trumbull, happy spring, sir. How are you?
Happy spring. It's been spring for like a month now.
What?
So, yeah.
Wow, all right.
It happens like around March 20th, right?
I'm no
I think
meteorologist.
that's the official first day of spring.
I'm no Sam Champion. I'm no Al Roker. I wouldn't know much
Yeah.
about how weather works, sir.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
I'm sorry, you were trying to do a cool transition
I was
because
trying to, and you were.
this yeah,
Yes.
because this week we're covering a movie called Spring Breakdown.
Yeah, I think because SNL is off this week. It'll be back in
Yep.
May, and I think at this time we were trying to think of, well, what movie could we talk about as SNL related? And I think I literally said, well, spring is starting up, so is there maybe a spring break movie that has some SNL cast members? And then this popped up, and that's
Yeah.
literally that's how we choose it. That's a little peek behind the curtain there, listeners. That's how this machine runs.
Well, we like to do something topical if we can, something that
Hmm.
ties into something that's either coming out or something that's going on or a holiday that's happening. And it doesn't always work out that way.
Doesn't always, but sometimes it
Yeah,
does. But yeah,
sometimes it does.
this we're talking about the movie Spring Breakdown. Came out June 2nd, 2009.
Right.
Had a budget of 12 mil. I cannot find for the life of me how much this movie made
Well, it
because
wasn't released to theaters, so that's probably why.
right. It's another thing I just found out because the movie was originally filmed in '06 and then sold to Warner Independent Pictures, where it sat on the shelf, and the company was shut down by its parent company in '08, and then they decided to release the film directed to video in '09, three
Right.
years after principal photography.
Yes.
So yeah, you can tell they had a lot of faith in this film.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They
It's like, just put it out, whatever.
and I didn't read that until after I watched the movie, and then but because I'd watched the movie by this point, I was like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. This movie was directed by Ryan Shiraki, written by Ryan Shiraki and Rachel Dratch, and it stars Amy Poehler, Parker Posey, Rachel Dratch, Amber Tamblyn. We got Seth Meyers in there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Jane Lynch, Missy Pyle.
Hmm.
It's there's some talent in this film
Yeah.
that yeah.
Is squandered.
Yeah, okay, we'll say that.
Yeah, a lot of funny people in this film. I wouldn't say any of them are funny in this film.
It's yeah, it's I mean, well, all right, I'll show my hand a little bit. Yeah, I mean, this film is also like really short, 84 minutes, barely an hour and a half. And then like really kind
Seems
of
longer.
yeah, does it really? I thought it sped
It
along.
drags.
Oh,
It
yeah.
drags. I was watching the beginning and I was like, this movie's taken kind of a while to get going. Because it's a spring break movie, and like I think 15 minutes into the movie, they still have not gone on spring break.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, I think in the beginning they have to set up our characters. So our characters are three college friends. Amy Poehler plays Gail, Parker Posey plays Becky, and Rachel Dratch plays Judy. And
Hmm.
so we do a little flashback. We see they're in college, and we can see that they're doing the talent show back in 1992, and we see they clearly were not the popular party girls in college. Like they're singing Cyndi Lauper's "True Colors" like earnestly, and like I like the way I kind of dig the way they dress too, because even though they're college seniors, they're dressed like soccer moms from the suburbs in their mid 30s.
Hmm.
Like Parker Posey's character is wearing a shawl, and Amy Poehler's character is wearing like a floral like vest you see at Talbot's or something. So it gets across that they were not the popular party kids back in the day. Just to
Right,
set who they are, I guess.
right, and their performance is not well received. They get like no applause, but then the next act that comes out gets like wild applause because it's like it was like Dancing Girls or something.
Yeah, it's like dancing bikini girls dancing to Good Vibrations, which of course, of course, college kids loves because boobs
Not the
and
Beach Boys good vibrations, the Marky
yeah,
Mark good
yeah.
vibrations.
I damn. I guess I gotta clarify that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't see too many. I mean, you don't think of too many people, too many women gyrating to the kind of butterfly she wears. But yeah, you have to.
That seems like it would be a tough song to gyrate to. Yes.
You don't hear that in the strip clubs very much. That's all I'll say.
No.
You don't hear.
California Girls, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you don't hear a lot of the pet sounds when you go to Satin Dolls or the Bada Bing. So
No, no, you don't have a lot of skanks dancing around to Sloop John B.
yes, which is a shame. It's a great song.
It is a great song. That is one of my favorite Beach Boys songs.
Yeah, it's oh my god, it's all right. Let's get off the Beach Boys. So we
If we
see
have to.
if we have to. So then we see the girls rejected that they're not into them, but they tell themselves it's okay. It's these these college dorks are immature. Like
Right,
so glad
right.
it's our senior
And
year.
and we're nerdy now, but the nerdy people are always the people who like peak in life later on. So like when we're out of college, we're gonna rock it.
Flash forward to now, they are not rocking it.
No, we flash forward to we see these three women like walking from behind, and they're in like these business suits. They got like the power suits and all that, and we're thinking like, oh, they're all tremendously successful, and that's great for them. But we're just seeing these characters walking from behind, and then we see our three protagonists bump into the women we saw walking from behind, and it wasn't them at all, and
Right, and
they're still losers.
they're still losers, but they have each other.
Right.
We find out that Gail, Amy Poehler's character, is a guide dog trainer. She teaches dogs that guide blind people.
Hmm.
So as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, dogs. This is John will like this. John will like this scene if anything. We got dogs in here.
They didn't really do anything with the dogs, though. I mean, we see a couple of dogs in graduation caps.
Yeah, because it's
I didn't really think about that because the dogs were just so inconsequential to the scene uh,
yeah.
in general. But one of the graduates at the School of the Blind is played by Amy Poehler's then husband, Will Arnett.
Yeah, exactly. And Amy Poehler had to thing for him, and so she asks him out on a date because she has 2 tickets to the Amy Grant concert. So,
Right, and he's like, "Oh well, it just so happens that I love Amy Grant." And then he does the blind person thing where he feels her face, and then he turns her down. So
yeah, which is
wah, wah.
I know. And that's a kind of another thing they did in this movie where they kind of make you like they kind of get across that all three of these women are just like undateable uggos when they're clearly not. They're just
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I I guess I didn't mind that too much because movie's gonna movie. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
for the sake of the movie, yeah, we're gonna pretend that these women are less attractive than they are.
yeah.
The big thing I was struck by in this scene, I was like, I did not realize how much taller Will Arnett was or is than Amy Poehler. He's like a head and a half taller than her.
Yeah, I mean, I always knew Will Arnett was a tall dude, but
Yeah,
I thought Amy Poehler was like average height. I gotta look that up now.
there
But I
is
thought
quite a height disparity between the two of them. Yeah.
yeah. I also noticed that. Well, we'll get to it later on when Rachel Dratch's character talks to the character she hooks up with, but we'll get there.
Yeah, the Justin Hartley character.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
then again, that's also like Rachel Dratch is notoriously super short. Like
she
that.
is short, and yeah, she is standing next to a literal superhero. So,
Yes, exactly,
you know,
dude.
dude was Green Arrow. So
Oh, that's right. Oh, see,
he
I
was
know.
Green Arrow on Smallville. I mean, now he's best known for This Is Us, of course. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess he was doing Smallville around this time in 2006. Yeah, I think Smallville was still going. I don't feel like looking it up, but
Okay. All right, that's fine. So we learned that about Gail. We learn about Judy. She's having marital troubles with her fiance William, played by Mr. Seth Meyers. And then they're at counseling, and their counselor is Loretta Devine, who's literally in this movie for like like 2 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, Loretta Devine. That was like a bit of a blast in the past because I remember like she was on Boston Public was the first place I really noticed her.
Yeah, I think she kind of she broke out. She was in Waiting to Exhale too
Oh,
as
right.
well.
Yes. Okay.
That was like her big thing. Also, all right. So, quick thing: Will Arnett, 6'2".
Okay. All right. So yeah, tall.
Yeah, he's actually
So
taller than I thought. I don't know
how
why.
tall is Amy Poehler then?
Let me. I'll look it up. TTI, 5'1". That can't be right.
Okay,
Really?
so he's like a good foot taller than her. Wow. All right. So they're like, yeah, they were really like Mutt and Jeff.
Five
Yeah.
one, 5'2". Wow, I thought she was taller than that. Huh.
She has presence. So yeah, when somebody has presence, you kind of read them as taller.
All right,
So
I guess so. Wow.
maybe
Well,
she's
just
just worked with a lot of other short people. I don't know.
I was gonna say that because I know Rachel Dratch is like 5 foot even. So
Oh
maybe that.
wow.
Yeah, I know. Like, I think I looked it up one day. All right, we're getting into height. I think I looked it up one day. Just I was just curious to see who was the shortest SNL cast member ever, and
Sure. Yeah.
I think it's I believe I found out it was Rachel Dratch came in second. I think the shortest was Denny Dillon, who was like 4'11", and
Wow.
then Dratch is like 5 even.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, that's tiny people.
Who is the tallest? Do you remember?
I think it was like a tie. I know it's either like Charles Rocket because I think he's like 6'3",
Okay.
or I know Chevy Chase might be up there, or Randy
Rob
Quaid.
Riggle seems like he's tall.
I think he's more wide than tall.
Okay. I mean, he's a big guy.
He's a beefy dude. He's a lot of man.
Yeah.
He's a mountain of beef.
Yeah.
But I think it was either Charles Rocket, Chevy Chase, or Randy Quaid, who people always forget about.
Yeah. Chevy Chase is tall. He's like well over 6 feet.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow, this really got into a height discussion all
I
of a
mean,
sudden.
I do kind of want to see every single SNL cast member lined up by height now.
All right, so Chevy Chase 6'4", and I know there's other like super tall cast members too. Like, of course, you have Kevin Nealon, Will Ferrell, Brad
Right.
Hall's pretty tall. Pete. So there's a lot of tall
I don't
dudes.
think of Pete Davidson as being tall. I know he is, but he doesn't seem like somebody who should be tall.
You're gonna take his height away from him? It's like you shouldn't have this.
I don't know. He just reads as shorter to me. I don't know.
According to what I'm seeing, he's 6'3".
Yeah, see, that seems wrong.
Are you gonna walk up to him with the tape measure? It's
I
like,
don't know. He seems like he should be 5'10" on the outside.
no, he's a tall, lanky dude. It makes sense. He's like a modern day Ichabod Crane.
Okay. All right.
He's the Ichabod Crane of Staten Island.
Well, anyway,
I,
slightly surprised by Will Arnett being so much taller than Amy Poehler. I wonder
okay.
how tall their kids are.
Ooh, it's hard to say. All right, and Randy Quaid 6'5". God damn.
Okay.
Jesus, man, it's a
I
monster.
did not know that Randy Quaid was that tall.
He's a monster apparently. Good lord, he's fucking Frankenstein. I should. I mean, come on. I mean, that's like NBA height. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean that's very tall. That's very tall. That's
Yeah.
like Conan O'Brien height.
Oh, he's tall too. Wow, this is fun.
Yeah.
Let's talk. How
This is
tall?
this is more interesting to me than the movie, quite
It
frankly.
really, it really is.
So Amy Poehler trains seeing eye dogs and gets rejected for dates by blind people. And yeah,
Yeah.
Rachel Dratch engaged to Seth Meyers' character, and we gradually find out that he is cheating on her, and he is apparently a gay man.
Yes, he is a gay, as they say,
Yeah, he is.
and
She comes home early, and he is like giving a massage to a very muscular man.
rubbing down the chest.
Right.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah.
And and then we find out that Becky, Parker Posey's character, is an office manager for Senator Hartman, played by Jane Lynch,
Right.
who I don't know, she kind of plays the senator as like this sort of rootin' tootin', like she has like a southern drawl, dressed all in red, and carries a shotgun. So I was like, oh, that's got to be Republican then.
I mean, she seemed a little Ann Richards-ish to me, but yeah,
Oh.
I mean, yeah, she does have a shotgun in her office, so yeah, I would assume Republican, but they never specify.
Yeah, she's basically like Foghorn Leghorn in a
Yeah,
power dress or power dress
yeah,
suit.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, so but and it turns out that the VP, the vice president of the United States, got caught in a scandal with some underage gals, and so he has to step down. So now the senator is like next in line.
You can tell this is an old movie because like politicians would resign when something scandalous came out. Can
Exactly.
you
Now,
imagine?
yeah, remember when people had like morals and shit? Yeah,
Remember Consequences?
yeah. No, none
Those
of
are
that.
fun.
Yeah, now it's just blame the other side and then just
Yeah,
keep
now
on
it's just
coasting.
yeah, I did that thing. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? And
Yeah,
then do we just go on with
yeah.
life?
It's like yeah, yeah. Just
And
let
we're
them.
like,
Let,
so this legit doesn't matter. Oh, okay, okay, all right. We're just gonna keep on going. All right,
yeah, just
okay, fine.
let the man live. Worry about what the libs or rolls are doing to the bladdy 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 and bladdy
Yeah.
blah. Uh,
So Senator Hartman, she has a daughter who is in college. She has a daughter Ashley, who's played by Amber Tamblyn.
right.
Um, and yeah, she's in college, and she is also kind of a geek. Um, and she has two friends in college. They're played by Mae Whitman, um,
From
who you
Arrested
might
Development and Good Girls, I think.
yeah, Arrested Development, Good Girls. She was on the show Parenthood, which I was a fan of.
Yeah, Scott
Um,
Pilgrim versus the World.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's always fun seeing her pop up and stuff. I enjoy her. And her other friend is played by Sarah Hagen, who was on Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, I was surprised to see her. I was like, hey, I know her.
Yeah, you don't see her pop up in a whole lot. I don't think she works a whole lot. I don't know if she's still acting, honestly, but
Mm.
she obviously still was at this point. So,
Yeah, so basically, you know, as she's getting clear to be the first VP pick, like the people around the senator are like, well, you have to make sure you don't have any skeletons in your closets, no scandals, and of course
right,
said, no, I'm good. I had my housemaid deported and my husband's impotent, so I'm all good. And then
yeah,
they said, well, what about your daughter? Is she like a wild child? We don't want like another Bush twins thing happening again. And then they cut to the daughter who's just got broken up with by her boyfriend because like now her boyfriend got his braces off and his mole removed, so now he's cute. So now he's like, hey, I'm cute now, so I can do better. Later, Amber Tamblyn, I'm gonna go
yeah,
off with these hot blonde popular mean girls.
yeah,
And it's yeah, again, it's like a thing where we have to like suspend disbelief. Oh, I guess Amber Tamblyn is a loser because her character is into like LARPing and whatnot.
yeah.
I guess she's ugly because she's into LARPing and nerd shit. But
She was
whatever.
in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Show some goddamn respect.
All right, I agreed, agreed, agreed. Yeah. So then what happens? Like I think then the senator starts to think, all right, yeah, maybe I should keep an eye on her because I think at this
Right.
point, uh, Amber Tamblyn's character Ashley is desperate to get her boyfriend back after being dumped so viciously. Finds out her boyfriend is going to what's it?
San Padre.
San
Or
Padre,
South Padre. Sorry, South Padre.
which I'm pretty sure is like a fictitious place in
It is a
Texas.
fictional town, yes. And
Yeah,
it's a fictional they say it's like an island off in Texas or off of Texas.
yeah. I
Who goes to Texas for spring break?
don't think too much about this.
Is
Yeah,
that a thing?
no, people go to like Cabo and Daytona Beach, and
I have
uh,
literally never heard of anyone going to Texas for spring break.
I mean, I've never gone anywhere for spring break. I never went on all those wild college trips to like
Yeah.
like Cabo or Aruba or
No,
uh,
I never did that either because
yeah,
well, we are nerds and we live up to our name.
that's right.
But
Nerds by name, nerds by nature.
yeah,
But yeah, I never did any of those things. Never went to like Mardi Gras or nothing. Just because it looked like I'd be surrounded by a bunch of people I would not really want to hang out with
A
at
lot of
all.
annoying drunk people. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see that. I see
but
that.
then again,
I,
part of
I
me,
think it would have been fun to do that like once, but yeah, it
yeah,
probably would have gotten very old very quickly.
I the only thing that probably could have made me really want to go was like the hookup factor back in the day, where it's like, oh, you could,
Right.
find love or have a dalliance with a certain lady and whatnot.
With a certain lady of perhaps like somewhat loose morals.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, but I never went just because I was always like super broke. But
Yeah, that was the main reason I never went. Yeah, I was at one point I was talking about going down to Florida with some friends of mine, and I we were going to take my car down, but then my parents kind of got into my head, and they're like, "Oh no, don't take your car. Your car can't, you can't put that many miles on your car." And yeah, and
hmm,
it didn't end up happening. I ended up chickening out, but
oh,
and I do regret that because you always regret the things you didn't do.
that's
Um,
true. Yeah,
so if I had to do the college experience over again, I would go. I would go and I would have fun.
yeah. Just something you say you did. You got crazy drunk and ran around naked on the beach. Fun
I
times.
don't know if I would have done that, but
Well, I guess you don't know how to party, then do you, John?
yeah, I think the evidence is pretty obvious. I do not know how to party. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. I was just trying to be nice.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So the Senator Hartman, she is concerned about her daughter potentially getting into trouble
right,
during spring break, and so she tells Parker Posey, "Hey, I need you to like go down and shadow my daughter and make sure
right.
she doesn't get into trouble."
Because she looks young enough and could pass for a college student or at least a grad student. So she said, like, yeah, you go down there and just shadow my daughter, make sure she doesn't do anything crazy and get on the news and fuck up my chances of being VP, basically.
Right, right, because they're
And
going to announce the pick in like a few days.
exactly. And
So,
Parker tells her friend Gail and Judy this. They actually already had plans to go to like a women's folk music festival because
right.
they're big fans of bands like Sarah McLachlan and Tracy Chapman, and it's like we were gonna go to the women's music festival in Tempe, but they decided to do this instead. And also, uh, Becky's been very depressed because her cat died, and so we see she's like this kind of lonely cat lady. But she really wants to go on this trip to watch after the senator's daughter because she
There
feels like
is so much setup at the
there.
beginning of this movie. It's way more setup than this movie needs.
Yeah, like I think she figures if she goes to do this to see the senators to look after the senator's daughter, the senator will hook her up with like a more important position in life, and then the other two girls had to go just sort of maybe to go with her for support and to maybe like
Right,
relive
and
their
also
college
Rachel
days.
Dratch is depressed because she just realized her fiance is gay, and
Yes. Oh yeah, and they called off the wedding too.
yeah, yeah, and but it's like we have a scene setting up Amy Poehler's deal. We have a scene setting up Rachel Dratch's deal. We have scenes setting up Parker Posey's deal, and then we have like Amber Tamblin's character set up. So yeah, it takes a long time for this movie to get going.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even though it is again, like I said, pretty short. So yeah, so
Yeah, but again, it seems longer than it is because it is not good.
it ain't great. It ain't great.
it's I mean, there are very funny people in this movie, but it is not a funny movie.
Yeah,
I
like
don't think I ever like cracked a smile once.
I think yeah, it's weird. It felt like I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why it didn't work. Like
Well, okay, like a part of it is, and I read up on the movie on Wikipedia after, and apparently it was originally planned to be like an R-rated movie, which makes sense if you're doing a movie about spring break.
yeah,
You want to do like R-rated shenanigans with drunken escapades and sex and
yeah,
naked nudity and all that
yeah,
sort of thing. Like this sort of stuff that goes on with spring break. You want to do
yeah,
like, I don't know, an Animal House or a Hangover style comedy. That just makes sense. But then when the movie was sold to another studio and shelved, or maybe shelved and then sold to another studio. I forget what the order was. They wanted it as a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, there's not a lot of cursing in this film, if any. There's no boobs,
Yeah.
no.
So
It's not as wild as it should be for Spring Break.
no, no. Let me see. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was initially created by Rogue Pictures as an R-rated spring break farce, and then it sold to Warner Independent Pictures as a PG-13 and underwent a long post-production period.
Yeah, I think that.
So
Yeah, that
I
really
I
hurt it.
guess it was shot as an R-rated thing, and then they edited it down. Maybe that's why it's so short. They edited out the more risque stuff, I would assume.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it does feel like there's something missing from this thing. Like, I mean, the
Right.
dialogue is kind of okay. There's a lot of explanation. There's a lot of setup in here. Like, it's like I
Yeah.
can't believe we're here and blah 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 blah. Like, there's a lot of that without not
Hmm.
as much, I guess, character building. Like, like, trying to find reasons to really care about the characters. I thought. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
definitely
I mean,
lacking.
outside of my general affection for the actors in this movie, yeah, I didn't particularly care about any of the characters. I don't think any of the characters are particularly interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
and
true.
there's no very interesting or unique set pieces.
Yeah, it kind of hops from party to party. Like,
Yeah,
at some points, it just seems like there's also like a lot of establishing shots. So it's just a lot of the scenes are just like sea of shirtless college kids just screaming, going woo, and just
yeah,
it's like
which gets old.
it really does. It gets kind of a blur for a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
I will
I
admit,
mean, they even do like at one point in the movie there's a wet T-shirt contest. The wet T-shirt contest scene is boring.
yeah. How do you do that? How do
How
you
do
make?
you make a wet? I mean, like partly it's very much a PG-13 wet T-shirt contest because like the women are all in like dark colored tops, so which
That's
kind of defeats the purpose of a wet T-shirt contest.
yeah.
I think how they're supposed to work is that all the women are supposed to be in like white tops that you can like actually see
Yeah,
through when you pour water on them. But
supposed to see some nips.
but I guess because they were trying to preserve that PG-13 rating.
Yeah, that was.
It's just weird. It's just weird. It's like, why is anyone enjoying this?
Yeah, this is yeah. Like, I remember. Yeah, wow. I'm thinking about that scene now. It's like, yeah, that was really tame. That was really boring. Like, how do
It
you?
is. It is you could put that scene on like primetime TV and probably not have to change a thing.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
like,
which is just odd. I mean, it's like if you are going to have a wet T-shirt contest in your movie, you should probably do a wet T-shirt
yeah,
contest.
go all out. Let's. I mean, what are we doing here, people?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just odd.
It is very odd.
It's
Yeah. So, yeah. So our heroes get to, uh, uh, now I forgot the name of the place again. To
uh,
South
uh,
Padre Island,
South
Texas.
Padre. Yeah,
They get to their hotel. They thought it was the Four Seasons, but it's the Four Seasones. Person running the hotel is Missy Pyle, who plays Charlene, and I think
right.
she might have been the funniest part of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, Missy Pyle, I think is awesome as a character actress. I mean, she's been in so much great stuff. She's been in Galaxy Quest. She was in Dodgeball. She was one of the parents in the remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, I can't think of like a bad Missy Pyle performance, honestly.
Yeah, no, she's consistent. She's like one of those, I guess, character actors who's just
Yeah,
like always knocking out the park, but people don't really like know her name or again,
yeah.
like you
I mean,
said,
she's not a household name or anything, but I mean, she works consistently, and she's always good, and she's got to be pretty reliable, and I don't. I think a Missy Pyle level of fame would be like probably the best level of fame to have because like
yeah,
you get to work, you're working in your chosen profession, you're probably I'm assuming very well regarded because she works a lot, but I'm assuming she can still like walk the street and have a life. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. She
that
doesn't get
seems like
hurt.
the best possible level of fame to have.
Yeah, she didn't get hounded by paparazzi.
Right,
Like
right.
that's the dream.
Yeah, yeah.
Really.
So, I mean, a pleasant surprise to see Missy Powell in this movie is
Yeah,
what I'm.
but I definitely thought she was like probably one of the shining moments in this film. She definitely, I think she's one of the people who just saw like, oh, the writing in this isn't the best, so maybe I can
Mhm.
like juice it up here and there and maybe improv a little, which
Yeah,
is
I think she does have the best developed character in the movie, I would say.
yeah. So yeah, she's basically like kind of a drunken party girl and just is like constantly hooking up and like she's kind of
Right.
acts as the girls, not girls, but Becky and Gail and Judy sort of,
Yeah, she
uh,
befriends the ladies
yes,
and yeah, they're kind of running around and yeah, they're doing the spring break stuff that they never got to do in college, which again, I mean, that could be a very funny premise of like women in their early 30s like trying to relive the wild college days they never had. But
right.
the movie just doesn't do much with it.
It really. I mean, it kind of plays on tropes, I
Yeah.
guess, because like we see Amy Poehler's character Gail befriends like the popular girl of the beach, the Sevens, I think they call themselves,
Yeah, it's a
and
group called the Sevens.
yeah, and like
And I guess because they're all supposed to be sevens on a scale from 1 to 10. Was that the reasoning?
I kind of zoned out. I don't even remember why
Yeah.
they called themselves the Seven. Sorry.
I think it was, I think there was some line of dialogue about like, oh yeah, they're all sevens, so we'll look way better.
Uh, all right. I'll take your word for it.
I think I have a vague memory of that I didn't take many notes during this movie.
I,
I wasn't
yeah.
enjoying this movie very much, and
Okay.
I didn't think there was much of anything notable to note. You know, so
Yeah. No, I hear you. But yeah. So basically, like I think Amy Poehler's character sees like a bunch of dudes hitting on them, getting really handsy, and then she's able to get them away from them, like treating them like dogs. Like
right,
she blows a whistle she has, and she like picks up some glow sticks and tosses them, and the boys chase them like dogs. So the girls are like very grateful, so they let her hang out with them, and then she gets into the cool crowd with them.
right.
And then we also see Judy, Rachel Dratch's character, meet up with Justin Hartley, like you said, who's in Green Arrow, and This Is Us, who does not wear a
Well, no,
shirt throughout.
he wasn't in Green Arrow.
Oh,
The guy from the Green Arrow show was another guy. He was the guy who played Green Arrow on Smallville.
oh, okay. Apologies. Green Arrow and Smallville.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Justin Hartley does not wear a shirt throughout this entire film. He's just he's
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, just, yep, checks out.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I'm trying to recall him being in a shirt at any point in this movie, and no, he was not.
Nope, just shirtless, backwards baseball cap. What's up?
He might have been wearing like a short sleeve shirt that was just open at one point, but yeah.
I don't think he was even wearing that. I think it's just straight up
Okay.
Georgia the Jungle, bare chested throughout the whole thing.
It's a lot of Justin Hartley pecs in this
Yeah,
thing.
ladies, and so yeah, it's like
But you know,
them.
honestly, the movie, even though it's like a movie that's told from this female centric point of view, there's not like a lot of female gaze stuff. There's not like a lot of beefcake or anything in this.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
I mean, you know, in a typical spring break movie where it's usually told from the guy's point of view, you'd expect like a lot of, you know, gratuitous nudity or gratuitous bikini shots or something, and there's certainly not much of any of that, and there isn't
Hmm.
really any of the reverse in this movie. It's a
Yeah,
very chaste seeming spring break, you know?
yeah. Again, like I mean, there was probably some beefcakey shots in there, but like you said, it probably got all chopped out and edited out
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
there had to be. Yeah,
That's
there had to be more than this. There had to be more wild shenanigans or
yeah, too hot for TV.
yeah.
So yeah, so they're
Like
at the
I mean, at one point I think they even try to make a "Girls Gone Wild" type joke because I think
oh yeah, Girls Gone
this was shot
Bonkers.
in 2006, so I think "Girls Gone Wild" was still kind of a big thing, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they do have a thing here called Girls Gone Bonkers because I think the next
Right.
day they're at the beach and like I think Judy does a keg stand and then they see salsa wrestling at some point. and with something that I guess was supposed to be salsa sauce, but it was. I've seen salsa, and that wasn't salsa.
You would think salsa would just really sting too. I would not want to wrestle on salsa.
Yeah, no, think
That
of the
would get in
calories.
your eyes and ew, no.
Yeah, I mean, think of my cholesterol. Can't have that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a salsa wrestling scene where I think Becky falls into it by accident, and then Ashley falls into it by accident. This type of thing, and then
She
it's
yeah, like Parky Posey gets pulled into it, I think. Yeah.
yeah, and then like I think the girls gone bonkers guys come in with the camera. Like I think they were trying to say it's weird. Like there are some moments where like there is some commentary about how women kind of get maybe demeaned and demoralized in spring break, and maybe and like in things like Girls Gone Wild kind of get like used for the
Right.
sexuality, but it never really gets explored that much. It just kind of like they comment on it slightly, and then it just the story keeps moving.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's an oddly there's not much of a plot to this movie, honestly.
Yeah, basically, like
They just go down to Florida, some stuff happens, and then the movie just kind of ends.
yeah, kind of like we
It
see
just sort of peters out.
yeah, like we see. I mean, I guess like the plot of the movie is again like Becky looking after the senator's daughter, but during through that she gains some self-confidence because her character is like kind of a bit of a doormat. um Amy Poehler's character Gail hangs out with the cool kids, and she starts dressing in belly shirts and starts
Mhm.
braiding her hair like Bo Derek, so she kind of become like her whole personality switches just to fit in, and she like becomes cool for once in her life. And Judy, Rachel Dratch's character, is like kind of obsessed with Justin Hartley, and at one point, like they they all party, and then she goes into a hotel room, which I guess she thought was her hotel room, but then she wakes up and it finds out it's somebody else's hotel room, and the Justin Hartley character is next to him, and she just like assumes that they slept together, although it's not really clear if they did or didn't.
Yeah, you're not sure if they had a drunken hookup or if she just passed out next to him and assumes they did. Because like she comes back the next day and she's like, I don't remember anything, but we must have had a great time. And it's yeah, it's not really clear.
Yeah, and it's never made clear throughout the whole film. Where like, dude,
It's very vague. And then she's like when she's running into him throughout the rest of the movie, like it's kind of awkward for her because she assumes she had a hookup with this guy and this guy does not remember her at all. So
yeah,
I guess they didn't.
but then at the end they do Well, let
Yeah,
me.
they make out for a
So
minute.
it's like, so did they or?
I don't care, honestly. Because like
Don't you want to solve this mystery, John?
no, I really don't. I don't. It's not like I'm rooting for Rachel Dratch's character to get with somebody.
Yeah,
Justin Hartley's character is not really developed. He doesn't really have any traits other than pecs.
he
Um,
really doesn't. He just like says, "Hey, what's up? Cool.
right.
I
I mean, barely any dialogue or anything.
Yeah, it's literally like I don't think he says a full sentence in this whole
Yeah,
film. It's just like, yeah, word, I true. It's like
yeah.
literally just a couple of syllables, and then that's it.
And we have Seth Meyers come back as Judy's fiance. Matthew, I think his character's name was.
William.
Oh, William.
I mean,
Okay,
it doesn't really
that's how
matter.
unmemorable he is. Um, and now Seth Meyers is like camping it up way more. He's doing like
Like gay face.
yeah, he's doing like the gay man voice. And I'm like, really? What year was this movie done?
Oh
Like,
9. I was like, gee, if
well, it was shot in
oh
'06.
6,
Let's
yeah.
be fair.
Okay, right.
But still, that seems way past the sell by date of doing the
Eh,
stereotypical
yeah, it's like
gay voice.
yeah, he's like, girl, get over here, you. It almost. Oh, I know I sound like Alan Sue or something like that, but yeah, it is. It's like, this is. It's
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah, it's I was just like, ooh, what, yeah, why are we doing this, guys?
Yeah, it's yeah, and I mean, I don't know. This movie kind of goes all over the place. It did have a one kind of cool cameo, I guess you could say, because there's later on there is a foam party that everybody goes to, and you probably saw this in the trivia, but in the background you see like one dude like just shirtless, kind of hanging out
Uh-huh.
on the stage because like at one point in the foam party, Gail gets drunk and wants everybody to do like the electric slide,
Yeah, I
which
remember that.
of course at first no one wants to get into it, but then she says, "Hey, what if I give everybody free keychains?" And everybody's like, "Keychains, yay!" Which I guess is like a nice little commentary about how like if you offer college kids free shit, they'll be happy and do anything. Which, as somebody who was in college, that is true. I will give you that. That is true. I will.
Hmm.
I signed up for many a credit card just for a T-shirt. But in, but yeah. So, but anyway. So
I mean, hell, that was the basic principle that Girls Gone Wild was built on. It was
yeah,
like, hey, show your breasts, we will give you a free T-shirt, and we will shoot camera footage of you getting naked, and we will make millions and millions of dollars
hey,
off of your nudity, but you get a free T-shirt.
hey, you want a tumbler? Well, how about this?
And and there is apparently enough alcohol that you can consume that this sounds like a good idea.
A tumbler, eh? Hmm. Keep talking.
Ooh, I get a baseball cap with a Girls Gone Wild logo.
Ooh,
Ooh,
ooh. Beer cozy, I'm in.
didn't they get like sued out of existence because like some of the women in those videos were underage?
I think
I
I'm
think the guy behind it ended up in jail.
I believe so. I'll look it up. But yeah, I remember his
Yeah,
whole empire coming crashing down.
yeah,
Because
and I don't think they are a thing anymore.
I'd be shocked if they were. But yeah, not in this climate.
No.
Uh-uh.
Well,
But
I never see those advertisements on late night TV anymore.
yeah, that they were everywhere. Like once midnight hit, you turn on channel 5. Oh boy, you see
Right, and just all that calypso music. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know why calypso music became associated with women flashing, but it did.
it really
I don't know. That was like the Girls Gone Wild brand. It was just calypso music and
yeah.
footage of women flashing, which is it's such a weird connection.
Yeah, just
Now that
boobs,
I think about it.
just boobs and Bobby McFerrin. That's all you need to sell these tapes.
Just steel drums. They have that association of
Yeah,
drunken women flashing now, and I don't know if steel drums deserve that.
yeah, yeah,
They're a perfectly fine musical instrument.
yeah. Come on, keep steel drums out of this.
But anyway, you were leading up to talking about a cameo during the electric slide
Oh
scene.
right, yeah. Jesus. Yeah. So they all do the electric slide. You see one young dude, no shirt on, in the background, just hanging out, no lines. That dude, Army Hammer, is
Okay, so I missed him in this movie.
it's
I
yeah.
was not aware that he was in this movie until after I finished watching the movie, and I went to IMDb and I looked up the trivia,
Yeah.
and the first thing, really the only interesting bit of trivia on here, it says when asked what IMDb credit he would like to have removed, Army Hammer named this title.
Mm. I'm
This movie is something that Army Hammer is ashamed of.
I mean,
The guy with the cannibalism fetish, whose career tanked when all those text messages and affairs came out. He's like, no, the thing I'm most ashamed of is Spring Breakdown.
that thing's a stain on my on my
it's
illustrious career.
it's ruining my good name.
Yes, ruining the Hammer name.
That is funnier than anything in this movie. The fact that Army Hammer is ashamed of Spring Breakdown.
Yeah, it really is.
That I want to see that movie.
Yeah, but like it is. It is like one of those things like where you would miss it if you weren't looking for him. It's because
Yeah.
like I watched the whole film. I didn't see him because like I knew that bit of trivia
Uh
and like
huh.
I did see his name in the credits. So I was like, well, where the hell is he? So then like I kind of rewound it and scanned through it again, and
Oh
then this
wow. Okay, so you went looking for him. I
yeah
I did not know he was in it when I was watching the movie, so I was not keeping any sort of eye out for him, and then I was just sort of by this point in the movie probably just half watching it because
yeah. If you scan
it's
if
not it doesn't really engage your attention.
no, not at all, not at all. He doesn't he has no lines. He's literally just his name in the film is Abercrombie Boy. So
Okay, well, hey, I mean that's a great credit to have.
yeah, and he's literally just shirtless, wearing shorts, hanging out in the background. Like it's definitely him, but he has no lines. He's
Right.
basically an extra.
Well, I mean, because this is like 5 years before the Social Network, so
Right,
yeah,
right.
Army Hammer's not really Army Hammer yet. Uh,
Mm.
wouldn't it be hilarious if his quote about wanting to be removed from spring breakdown wouldn't it be awesome if that quote was from like within the last year? If somebody was like, Army Hammer, do you have any regrets? And he was just like, oh yeah, spring breakdown.
Spring breakdown. Hey,
Really? Not the cannibalism stuff, not the all the affairs and all that, and no, just mostly spring breakdown.
like, oh, this must be an old interview. Oh, 5 months ago. What?
No, oh,
Oh, this is very recent. Oh my,
oh, that's disturbing and rather unexpected.
that's troubling. Oh dear. Oh my. Yeah. So, uh,
I'm sorry, just Army Hammer being ashamed of his association with this movie. That is hilarious to
this
me.
this movie is my curse. Spring
That is
breakdown.
the funniest thing about this movie, I think.
Spring breakdown. Direct to video. The bane of my existence. Uh,
Which is kind of surprising because again, I've seen all the people in this movie be much funnier elsewhere, so I don't
yeah.
really know what happened here.
I really don't know. Like, I think I don't know. Maybe they had to stick to the script. I think if they were given more room to like improv some stuff,
Yeah, like because
maybe.
like Amy Poehler and Rachel Dratch, they both have improv backgrounds, so and you saw Amy Poehler improv stuff all the time on like Parks and Rec and stuff,
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know why.
and
Mm, I don't
and
know.
and you know and had Parker Posey, she does those Christopher Guest movies, and those have a lot of improv in them. So like all of these, all three of your leads are capable of improving funny stuff, and Jane Lynch and Missy Pyle.
Yeah, I mean, also maybe I kind of hate to say it, but the film looks like pretty. I mean, it is low budget. So I had a budget of 12 mil, but like it
Right.
also feels like maybe they were. It kind of feels like it was taped in a time crunch because, like, I mean, you say it
Yeah.
felt like it dragged. I thought it kind of sped along really quickly. Like they should
So
have.
maybe they just didn't have the time to do a lot of takes, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it just felt like, all right, we got this in the can. Let's go on to we got a schedule type of thing.
True. Yeah.
But but yeah, I mean, they're at the phone party. Amber Tamblin's still trying to win over her her boyfriend who spurned her because she's still not over him, and
Right.
so she decides to go wild, and she gets into the the tame wet T-shirt contest, as it were.
Right.
And then we see like Becky trying to stop her, and then they get into a fight on stage, and then they both get arrested, I believe.
Right. And it's not really clear why they get arrested. They're not being like that rowdy or disruptive.
Yeah, like I mean, I wasn't. I'll admit I wasn't 100% paying attention. Like, but yeah, the fact that which I maybe
Again, this movie does not really command much attention.
I mean I was right. I was taking some notes and I was like paying attention to what was happening. But yeah, I was just saw them getting to some fight on stage, and then before you know it, they're getting hauled off by the cops. I was like, that
Yeah.
does this really call for a night in the clink behavior? Like
Yeah,
that?
I mean, they don't. I don't really remember punches being thrown. They don't like wreck anything. They're not. It's not like they cause like a big riot or anything. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know. I'm not really clear on what the. I mean, yeah, of course you don't want people fighting in public venues, but yeah, it's just I'm just
yeah,
like, what did they do that was bad enough to get arrested?
I
Who
know
who called the cops?
exactly. Who called the fuzz, man?
It's just weird.
Yeah,
And
and
and this is also the point in the movie where Amber Tamblin's character kind of realizes that Becky has been sent to kind of keep an eye on her.
right, because like Becky, well, I don't even know if I mentioned it, but like she introduces herself to Ashley and her friend as like a college grad student, and then they kind of befriend each other, and then
Right.
she realizes, oh, they're nerds like us. They're in no danger of
Right.
going
But then she
wild.
realizes, oh no, this friendship is built on false pretenses. So
Yes.
I hate you now. Ah.
Ah, how could you
Um,
betray me?
right. And then of course, because Ashley gets arrested, this becomes like a big news story,
Right.
and it jeopardizes her mother's chances of possibly becoming vice president.
Right, exactly. They do one night in the clink. We see. I don't know if you're familiar with the comedian Lunell. She makes it like a little
Yeah,
appearance.
yeah. She was on. She was in the Borat movie, right?
Yes, yes, I believe so.
Yeah, the first
But
Borat movie.
yeah, yeah, like Lunell pops up in a bunch of stuff, including this movie for a paycheck. But yeah, it's like it's like you said, like Judy springs them out. Uh, the press gets wind of it. The senator gets wind of it, and everything all comes crashing down. Uh,
Right.
Gail and Judy and Becky get into a fight because Gail is being too influenced by her new popular friends. Judy reconciles with her fiance who's gay because she really really wants to get married, and
I mean, really, they have a falling out because we're getting into the third act of the movie,
yes,
and
very much so. This
they
hits.
have to have a fall. Like Robert McKee said, we had to have a falling out at this point. It's very artificial.
It's like this is like, oh, this is the moment where we're all like, well, maybe we shouldn't be friends anymore.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, well, you're gonna reconcile at the end. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, so then all of them go their separate ways. And yeah, this is the part where, oh no, our heroes are apart now. What
Oh,
will
oh
happen?
no! What's going to happen? These three friends who weren't terribly interesting when they were together, they're now apart. I'm concerned. I guess
Yeah,
maybe I don't especially care, but okay, the movie kind of wants me to care. So
yeah. So at this point, uh, Becky feels like they should all go home, but Ashley
right.
wants to stay because she doesn't want to let the popular girl who stole her boyfriend win. So they're going to enter the big talent show that is in the final act of this film. That I guess was a big deal. I don't think they even mentioned throughout the film. They didn't really mention it until like this
No,
point.
no, it's like right before the talent show happens. They're like, "Oh, it's the big talent show," and it's like, "Oh, okay. I guess that's a thing."
It
Um,
is a thing. So like all of them get together to figure out what's their act going to be. So then they get together to do for like a big musical act. Um,
yeah.
Ashley's ex hears about it, and he sees what went down at the club. It's like, oh, I think I want to get back with you now. And of course, Ashley's like, no, you get the fuck out of here, type of
No,
thing.
I have self esteem now.
Yeah, she's empowered now, girl power.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want, what you really want. Okay. Uh,
And Amy Poehler is like, yeah, putting an act together with the Sevens, the popular girls that she's hooked up with.
yeah, and it's like a Pussycat Dolls type of
Right, and
thing.
they recruit a keyboard player, and it's
Right.
Mindy Sterling or Sterling
Ooh, that's a good
from the
question.
Austin Powers movies.
Yes, and I
Yeah,
think she's in a
Frau Farbissina.
yes, and who's yes, File for Business, and she's actually like a big deal, like groundling too.
Yeah,
She's been like in a
I mean, again, very funny person. Doesn't have much to do in this. She basically just her character is drunk, and then she like I think falls over unconscious, and that's about all she has to do.
yeah. She doesn't have anything to do in this thing. I was
And it's
like,
like, why did we need Mindy Sterling for this?
yeah, she really. She literally has no lines. Like I think it's a thing where
Yeah.
they say, "Oh, well, we need a keyboardist," and this is where Judy's not talking to them. So Missy's
Right.
like, "Oh, my cousin is a keyboardist, but she's like a drunk. But like we
Right.
could like sober her up and she
So
could
you're
play."
like, oh, okay. Well, then she's going to get drunk, and then one of the other friends is going to replace the keyboardist, and
Yeah,
that's how we're going to get everybody back together for the big final act.
yeah, and that's exactly what happens.
Like as soon as the character says, like, "Oh, yeah, but she's a drunk," it's like, "Oh, well, real subtle foreshadowing here, guys."
Yes, Mindy Sterling, no lines at all. She just plays like a drunk about to pass out, and then she
Yeah,
passes out like on stage during the big number, and
I
then
just
that's it.
I just kind of wondered why they got Mindy Sterling for this, outside of like them just wanting to hire Mindy Sterling and hang out with her for a couple days.
Yeah,
But it's just like, surely you could have gotten somebody to do this more cheaply than a known comedic actress like Mindy Sterling.
yeah,
It was just strange.
really strange.
It's like, why put her in your movie and give her this little to do?
Yeah, you could just give that to anybody, just like any rando off the street.
I don't know. I mean, on the DVD that I borrowed from the library, there is a section of deleted scenes. I did not watch any of them because I was like, oh, I've seen too much of this movie already.
I've
So
seen enough.
maybe she has more to do in the deleted scenes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did watch the gag reel. There isn't even anything funny in the gag reel.
God damn.
They didn't even rustle up some funny bloopers. It's shockingly unfunny, this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, so at this point, they're doing the big show. Also, we see that Judy and William are about to go back home, and then Judy realizes, oh, I shouldn't be with him because it's a gay man, and like I deserve
Yeah,
more. So then she breaks up with him for good, and she runs back to her
yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Then we get to the talent show where the host introduces the judges. The judges being Christopher Knight from the Brady Bunch. uh,
Right, Peter Brady.
yes. Oh, also the announcer is comedian Nick Thune, who plays the announcer Dan.
Oh, he looked familiar. Okay, I was like wondering why that guy looked familiar. Yeah, okay, Nick Thune. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm looking it up right now. It's like, oh yeah, that was Nick.
Okay.
He had no beard, so I didn't recognize him. And
Yeah,
Christopher Knight, Bruce Valanche, and Lala Anthony. If you
I don't
remember,
know who Lala Anthony is.
she's
Is
like
she like a reality TV show person or something?
yeah, she's like an actress, reality TV star. She was in like a few shows like The Shy and like Power Book. And I think she got famous through I want to say Basketball Wives or something.
Oh well, no
Something like
wonder
that.
I don't know her.
I think
Okay,
yeah, I think she was married to like a basketball player or something
but
like that.
yeah, Christopher Knight and Bruce Valanche, very random cameos. I mean, even more random than the Army Hammer and Mindy Sterling cameos.
The most random. And oh, also, did you also notice that other not cameo, well, I guess a cameo, but one of the people that works on the senator's staff, Patrick Fabian.
I think I saw that he was credited. I don't think I noticed him in any scenes. No.
He was in a few scenes. Like if you don't know Patrick Fabian, I feel like you get a kick out because he played Howard in Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I love Patrick Fabian.
Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah,
oh, there he is.
yeah. I mean, how great is Better Call Saul, by the way?
It's fantastic. Let's talk about Better
And
Call
in
Saul.
particular, how great was Patrick Fabian in Better Call Saul? Yeah,
Yeah.
Better Call Saul. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it better than Breaking Bad.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Oh wow. All right.
yeah.
Oh, that is a hot take, sir.
That is a hot take. I disagree with our friend JL Colvin about this, but
I I'd have to think about that. I
yeah,
love me some Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was some of the best television I've seen in a long time. But I will admit that that last season of Better Call Saul was it got close. It got up there. It might have been on the same level as some of the
yeah,
Breaking Bad episodes. I mean, my God, like that. Some of the most fucking just knocked it right out the park acting I've ever seen. Rhea
yeah.
Seehorn.
Amazing show. And if you haven't seen Better Call Saul, check it out. I understand like all the seasons are on Netflix now, so
I mean, like Rhea Seehorn gives some like award-winning fucking performances in that thing.
without actually winning any fucking awards, which
Yeah, I,
it just enrages me when
I,
she hardly, I don't think she even got nominated most years.
it's a crime.
It's which yeah, a bigger crime than anything that happens on those shows.
Yeah, that was, I don't know.
Ray Seahorn, fucking amazing. Yeah,
Mm.
and I realize we're going on a big tangent, but yeah, Ray Seahorn. If it were up to me, like I would just rename the Best Actress Emmy Award as Ray Seahorn's motherfucking Emmy, and it would just be the Ray Seahorn motherfucking Emmy Award, and
And
just give it to Ray Seahorn every fucking year, whether she has a role on TV or not.
yes,
That's how good she is on Better Call Saul, man.
yeah, I can see those award shows now. And the winner of the Ray Seahorn motherfucking award is Ray motherfucking Seahorn.
Yeah,
Da,
yeah.
da, da,
I,
da.
she is the best, and I cannot wait to see what she does next. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's
So,
actually good entertainment, unlike this thing that we're watching and we're nearly at the end of. Um,
yeah, yeah. So basically, the nerd girls go on. They sing "Hold On," of course. Mindy Sterling's character passes out, so they need to.
okay, had Bridesmaids happened yet by this time? This was shot in 2006.
Bridesmaids was like '08, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
Okay, so they did the Wilson Phillips ending before Bridesmaids.
I'm looking up right now. I feel like they did.
Okay.
But yeah, like "Hold On"
That-
seems to be like a lot of people's go-to songs.
yeah, I guess it's sort of a generational anthem. I think if yeah, you were around in the early '90s, you were Wilson Phillips was your jam.
Yeah, Bridesmaids 2011.
Okay.
So yeah, this was
So
way
wow,
this is well before.
Bridesmaids stole their ending from Spring Breakdown.
Oh my god, I think we just cracked the case.
Damn, son.
Damn, homie. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I think Bridesmaids was like, look, no one saw that. No one's gonna see that movie, so no one's gonna
This
know.
movie hasn't even been released.
Yeah, let's
Oh
put
no, wait, no, it would have been released
yeah, the direct to
because it was
video,
released in 2009.
direct to video. Yeah, so I just
But they were like, nobody saw this fucking thing. We can use this
yeah,
ending.
let's do this. Hold on, singing in a movie that people will actually see.
Right.
Yeah. So of course, Mindy Sterling passes out and she's drunk, and they're like, "Oh no, we need a keyboardist. Who can we get?" And of course, Judy runs up. He's like, "I'll play the keyboard." And of course, they all unite together, singing "Hold On." The audience doesn't know what to make of it, but then they're like, "You know what?
Right.
Whatever. We
Yeah,
don't."
we, the audience, you and me in the audience, we
Yes,
didn't know what to make of that.
yes, but
I
then
was like, isn't this the ending to Bridesmaids? What the fuck are they doing here?
but yeah, then Judy grabs the mic. She's like, "You know what? We don't care what you guys think because we're freaking awesome." And then they're like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, all right, yeah, own it. You guys win. Rock
yeah.
on." And yeah, then everything kind of works out for them at this
They're
point.
they're friends again, and yeah, yeah, and I guess they sort of had a good time at spring break, and they worked through all their issues. And another weird thing I just thought of is Amy Poehler's character has this weird sort of subplot. Actually, even calling it a subplot is kind of generous. Where like they say that like she used to have a weight problem.
They do?
Well, like they have a thing where she's like, there's a scene where she's like she's about to gorge herself with cake from the refrigerator and puts like whipped
Oh,
cream on top. And I think they're saying that like she used to be a fat girl in college,
um,
but they have the flashbacks and she doesn't look fat in the flashback. She's got like brown hair, and I guess she's
ew,
supposed to be
brown
chunkier, but
brown hair, ew. That's how you know.
but it's not like they put her in a fat suit or anything. But like a
Yeah,
couple times, it's like they're kind of talking like she was bigger than she is in this movie.
I don't know. Maybe that's because like there are a bunch of scenes in this film where like Amy Poehler's wearing like mid dress and showing off
Yeah,
showing off dem abs. So maybe
yeah,
that's they wanted to have that little balance of she was chubby-ish, but now damn son. But like
yeah. Like I mean, her self esteem hasn't caught up to her exterior appearance or something. I don't know. I just thought that was weird. I was like,
yeah, I didn't even notice that really,
yeah.
which I guess says more about the movie that I didn't pick up on that.
I mean, it's
than
a
anything.
weird district. I mean, it's more boring than anything, honestly.
Yeah, like they,
It takes a lot to make Spring Break seem boring in a movie, but damn if this movie doesn't pull it off.
yeah, they're it's weird. Like they almost go to interesting places, but they never follow up with it, and then it just gets
Yeah.
bored. Like they don't go all the way with it. It's like you said, like they chopped out all the interesting, crazy stuff that should have
Yeah,
been in
I
this
mean,
thing.
they never really go wild, as it were. You
Mm.
know, we never. They don't have like wild hookups. They're not like flashing strangers. They're not like at one point they say like Amy Poehler's character has been drunk for like 2 days, I think, but we don't really see any drunken shenanigans.
Yeah, not really. It's
It's
it's like
yeah, like Rachel Dratch does a keg stand. There's the salsa wrestling, and
yeah,
that's about it, really.
yeah. It's like they want to do a spring break movie, but they don't like they want to do like a PG-13 version of a spring break
Yeah.
movie. Who wants to see that?
No, I don't.
Like go
Yeah,
all the fucking way, balls to the
it's
wall.
just weird. And you could even do funny stuff in with a PG-13 for Spring Break. I mean, you could still have like people flashing and just blur it out or something, like they did on Arrested Development whenever Kitty would
Oh, yeah.
flash people.
Say goodbye to these.
And yeah, and that just got hilarious. That was increasingly more hilarious every time they did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like nobody ever wanted Kitty to do that.
Yeah, she has boobs no one wants to see. That's
Right, and she just was always picking like the most awkward moment.
yeah.
It's just weird. I did not have high expectations for this movie, and this movie did not even meet those.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's it's bad. It's just
I think we're
it's one of the worst movies we've watched for this podcast, I would
oh
say.
like worse than it can't be worse. I don't think it's worse than It's Pat.
No, I don't think it's worse than It's Pat, but it's just not a good movie at all. It's just
Yeah,
very dull. It's just sort of there.
yeah. I think yeah. So yeah, basically at the end, everything works out. The three friends reconcile, and
Right.
yeah, and the senator becomes VP.
Yeah.
Becky becomes like the environmental czar because saving the environment's like a big thing with her. And like everybody has happy endings and become better people. And that's pretty much it. But it's
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's
Seth Meyers gets married to the guy he was massaging at the beginning.
yeah, like Judy gets married to some random dude. Uh, I think
It wasn't the Justin Hartley dude. I can't
no,
remember.
no, it was like some other dude. Like because like at
I finished this movie like an hour ago. It is already fading from my memory. It's like right after I finished this movie, Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith came out with their little Men in Black memory eraser device, the little flashy thing,
yeah,
and and the movie is already fading in my memory.
you lost 80 minutes of your life and you don't know where it went.
And uh, yeah,
Yeah, uh, yeah. I mean it's I don't know. This movie was pretty much a bummer, just because it has such a great cast, like Parker Posey,
yeah,
Amy Poehler, Rachel Dratch. They're great comedic performances. They can do shit. I don't know why.
right. And you have Jane Lynch, you have Missy Pyle, you have Amber Tamblyn, you have Mae Whitman, you have Sarah Hagen. These are all funny people.
Yeah, but they're just not given much to do, and like
Yeah,
I don't know. They should have just let them go wild and do whatever, and just
right.
have fun with this. But it seemed like they were just kind of sticking to the script a lot of times, and
Yeah, I don't know.
the whole movie just seems like very by the numbers. It doesn't, like very
Yeah,
predictable. Even the title of the movie is just kind of whatever. It's kind of Spring Breakdown. All right. It
yeah,
seems like a placeholder almost for the title.
yeah. It's like yeah, well, yeah. This is just a working title.
Yeah. Well, this isn't going to be the real title of the movie.
We'll come up with something better. I mean,
Uh,
hell, they couldn't even get like Will Arnett to do more than one scene in this thing, and he was married to Amy Poehler at the time.
yeah. Well, he was in like that another scene when Amy Poehler had that dream sequence about being with the hot she's like one of the hot girls now, and then they walk by like a bunch of dudes on the beach. like all like ogling them, and then Will Arnett.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten that.
Then Will Arnett's like, "Oh, I want you back now," and then Amy Poehler just shoves him his face in.
Okay, all right. So two
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah. So two scenes. But yeah, like I mean, the fact that you didn't even remember that scene says a lot about this film. It's just I don't know, man. It feels like this film could have been so much more, and just wasn't.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it doesn't even seem like a rough draft for a movie. It's just,
Yeah,
it's like maybe they shot this and they're like, oh, no, 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 don't worry. We're going to put all the jokes and the funny stuff in later.
yeah. We'll pad this baby up real nice later on.
Yeah, but reading up on it afterwards, I was like, oh, yeah, no, I totally get why this was shelved for 3 years. It's not good.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, like, I mean, like a lot of these characters, a lot of these actors are like pretty well established. So again, yeah, the fact that this
Yeah,
wasn't better just
yeah.
boggles
I
my
mean, this
mind.
you would think this might be something that they did when they were all like young, struggling actors, but no, everybody was already established. I mean, Amy Poehler hadn't started Parks and Rec yet, but when they shot it, I mean, it was going on when the movie came out, but Parker Posey had already done all the a bunch of the Christopher Guest movies and stuff, and Dratch and Poehler had both been on SNL,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
So
I don't. It's
I don't
just
this.
publicity. And look, I mean, everybody ends up in bad projects and stuff, and not everything can turn out great.
Yeah, but
But it's just weird that people looked at this and thought, "Oh yeah, this will work."
yeah, but yeah, it is befuddling. It is
Well, you know,
baffling, bewildering.
The DVD also has a commentary with the director Ryan Shiraki and Rachel Dratch. I have not listened to that but I wonder if there are explanations to be found on there.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was thinking about listening to it, but I was like, nah, I'm good.
Nah, do I want to devote another 84 minutes of my life to this? Not really.
I
No.
do not.
I don't know. I might look back at that one scene and see if I can spot Arby Hammer, or look to see if I can spot Patrick Fabian in Shane Lynch's office.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
might be fun.
yeah. It's only like a moment or two, but he's definitely in there. And
Okay,
yeah, and
okay. Maybe I'll go back and check for those because that might be fun.
yeah,
Um,
but yeah. I mean, overall, Spring Breakdown. Oof.
oof, yeah, not good,
No,
not good, folks.
no. But we also did get a tweet from, or a text rather, from one of our friends on the Twitter sphere, Mr. Brad Robinson, who
Yes,
mentioned that he actually worked on this film, and we told him to call in and leave a message, and he did just that. So let's give Mr. Brad Robinson a listen and see what he has to say
let's see.
about.
Maybe Brad will explain it all
Yes.
for us. Maybe he can help us make sense of this all. So let's see what Brad has to say. Okay, well, I don't know if we learned a whole lot, but thank you for sharing, Brad.
Thank you for sharing that, Brad.
Yeah,
That was really something.
that was
And
that was.
yeah, and that's our episode, guys. Yeah, sorry that we're not ending out on a big banger of a on a upper note, but hey, that's such is life. What can you say?
I mean, look, hey, if this podcast serves to warn people off from this movie, if they were thinking about somehow seeing this obscurity from 2009, we're here to say don't.
Don't bother. Do something else with your time.
Don't bother. Watch literally any other project that these ladies have done.
Yes, really, like anything.
Marathon Parks and Rec again. Watch one of the Christopher Guest movies that Parker Posey has done.
Yeah,
Watch
watch Wine Country.
Party Girl. Watch
Wine Country.
yeah, watch Wine Country. Wine Country had some entertaining moments, as I recall.
Yeah, that's all right.
There was some funny stuff.
But yeah, this was a Chihuahua.
Yeah, just not good.
Yeah. So
Even the tagline on the front of the DVD is bad. Payback's a beach.
yeah, but no, yeah, but there's no payback.
No, yeah, it's not like they're getting revenge on anybody or anything.
I it's really somebody just put that in there for the pun, like, oh, we got to include
This is
a
Yeah, it's just an
beach.
utterly perplexing. They don't even spend much time at the beach.
They really don't. I mean, there is a couple of beach scenes, but it's not all about the beach. There's like a pool scene, and then there's a foam party. Yeah. Uh, woof.
It's
Oh boy. All right. Well,
just a perplexing, confusing movie. It just
yeah. This is a head scratcher for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, that's our episode, guys. Thanks for listening. As always, you could listen to us at the Non-Productive Network, non-productive.com. Donate to our
Contribute to our Patreon.
Patreon. Do it. Give us
Yes.
money. And
That helps us, keep producing this show for you, and because we do have like nominal expenses
yes,
involved with it.
exactly.
And you can follow us on Twitter at SNL Nerds Show, and get in touch with us, and let us know what you think, and what you want to see, what you want to hear on the podcast. Let us know, because we might have to fill a few more weeks if SNL ends up having a strike.
Yeah, I mean, like as it goes right now, we still haven't heard much about the strike. It's still up in the air. So
Right.
we're assuming they're still going to do the Pete Davidson episode on May 6th, but all that can come crumbling down at any moment. So
Right. Right.
hit us up on Twitter at SNL Nerds Show. Let us know what you'd like to talk about, because we may need a backup plan, and we may need it soon.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look. I mean, there's no shortage of movies and other projects, or if you even want us to talk about an older episode of SNL again, we can do that.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. That'd be kind of cool.
let us know what you want to hear from us.
Yes,
Um,
we are here to
and you
serve.
can also follow our individual Twitter and Instagram accounts. I'm at Trumbull Comic. That's TRUMBULL, and then the word comic.
And I'm at Darren Credible. That's DARIN Credible. Twitter and Instagram.
Yes. So, and next week we've decided what we're doing for next week, right?
We did. We're gonna. This might be another movie that I remember when it came out, it was not beloved, but it's sort of gotten.
This is another movie I do not have high expectations
Yes.
for. I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
I'm not really looking forward to checking out this movie.
Yes, we're putting Trumbull through the 12 circles of hell right now.
Yes.
This is circle number 2, and the movie is Black Sheep, 1996, with Chris Farley and David Spade. I remember when this movie came out, it was
Yeah.
very heavily maligned, but it's kind of gotten like a cult following a little bit from what I've seen. It's like some people are like,
Well, from what I remember, like David Spade doesn't even like this movie. I remember
oh shit,
at some I want to say award ceremony or something he was presenting, and he was talking about Chris Farley, and he was like, "Oh, we did a couple movies together, a funny one called Tommy Boy, and then another one called Black Sheep." So yeah, even David Spade is not a fan of this movie.
all right, so we're gonna dig our heels in and watch Black Sheep. Chris Farley, David Spade, Tim Matheson, Christine Ebersol, Gary Busey. So the gang's all here.
Well, I like Tim Matheson. That'll be cool.
There you go, and another SNL alum, Christine Ebersol too. She was there.
Yes, yeah, true.
Yeah. So this should be interesting. We'll give this a shot and see what happens. It'll either be a nice little pleasant surprise, maybe it'll be better than we think, or it will be the horrible massive turd that we feared it would be. That'll just crumble our souls just a little bit more.
And take away our will to live.
Yeah. So tune in and find out.
Yeah. See if we want to go on after this. We're gonna need to pick something like really good to watch after this. I think we'll have earned it.
Yes. After this, nothing but the good stuff.
Well, I'm not saying nothing, but I'm just saying we need a good thing for the week after.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's true. We need something to look forward to.
Now, whether that's SNL returning or that's a movie that we are picking, but yeah, let us know what's a really good thing that we can check out.
Right. We want the good stuff. We want the raw, uncut, the primo.
Okay, now it just sounds like we're doing a drug deal.
You got any weed, man? We're talking. Hey, listeners, you holding? You holding?
Anyway, we'll be back next week to talk about Black Sheep. So check us out then. But until then, nerds out.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.